I'm male.
Your mind wakes in darkness. Aching cold sets into an unfamiliar body. A distant howling surrounds you, louder with each passing second. Insistent and invisible hands slap and tear at the membrane that protects you.
You know, I'm really glad that they have someone that voices this, at least some of it, because that voice is much better than mine would be reading this. Much more epic.
Your first emotion is an involuntary and formless panic. You feel you have forgotten something important. As if it once meant the world to you, but the details slip away as you grasp at them.
Wonderful.
You force your eyes open.
I'm gonna look
A
around.
white-pink fleshy cocoon surrounds you. Even as you look, a minor rent in its side tears open, and the howling wind forces its way inside.
That is windy. In fact, it's kind of blowing up my headset. It's that windy. I don't like it being this windy.
The cocoon rips away, gone before you can grab it, spinning you into a dizzying tumble. You are falling, the world many kilometers beneath you. You catch a glimpse of a curved horizon, and also the ground beneath you that is approaching deceptively quickly. Above you, a small moon is slowly collapsing in upon itself. A corona of acid green and black energy playing around its edges.
Creepy.
The wind buffets you and burns your eyes, but you don't need to see the details of the faraway ground to know you're in serious trouble. You won't survive a fall from this stratospheric height. A part of your frantic mind babbles that technically you probably fell from a thermospheric height. You struggle to stay focused as the ground rushes toward you.
Alright, now I know what stratospheric and thermospheric mean roughly, but this guy is smart to be able to just think that through straight up and bring those words to mind, because I would just be like, I'm falling from really high up, would basically be how I would put it. By the time I judge how far it is to get to the ground, I may end up splatting on the ground, and I don't really want to dive toward the ground. I'm gonna try to catch the wind.
Spread your arms and legs, and they respond sluggishly. You stop tumbling head over heels. Though you are still spinning laterally, that motion has calmed as well, and you have space to assess your situation, and perhaps to understand the predicament and the body in which you find yourself. Below you, you see a large landmass. A massive ocean dominates the rest of the visible globe, dotted here and there with island chains. Small moons, unusual structures, and strange machines rush past you in glittering profusion as you plummet toward the ground.
You know, in this situation, I don't think I would be studying the world and looking at the body. I would be trying to remember what got me here. Trying to think, do that mini think back of all the life decisions that brought me to this current point that I am now plummeting toward my death.
It's hazy. You were in a tall passageway, its sides slicked with dew, the air warm and moist, as if you were caught in the breath of a giant organism. You remember fleeing in fear and exhilaration, laughing through the terror. What was it that pursued you?
That is a good question. I don't know. I was laughing through terror. That sounds like me.
And cold, its coiling power, the promise of oblivion. Its shadowed tendrils struck at you, and the walls where they landed were torn apart utterly, destroyed beyond any hope of repair. You leapt into a membranous cocoon and fell from the station, the moon. And then you were empty. But who were you? What was that creature? A word surfaces in your thoughts, and you seize it before it vanishes. Sorrow. The world fills your sight. You're about to hit.
As my last dying thought, I want to remember the sorrow. Oh, the humanity, the sorrow of my situation, just terribleness. The single word sorrow. I don't know how I would stop the fall. And I'm not going to give up, so I'm just going to continue to try to have as much memory of my life before I splat.
It hurts your mind to recall, but you push past it, a creature of the forgotten world seeking you out across the centuries. But it's not you it seeks, is it? It sought the man whose memories you shuffle through now, and you realize suddenly that you are not him.
I am not me. That's a good realization. I suppose looking at my body would have confirmed that.
You were... who? Who were you?
I don't know.
If you somehow managed to sidestep everything you know about anatomy, physics, and death, and you were surprised to realize that you do know something about them, and you survived this fall, you suspect that you might be able to reawaken a dormant strength you sense inside you. But who could possibly survive a fall from this height?
Sidestep everything I know about anatomy, physics, and death, which is that someone plummeting from, thermospheric height would die. They would just die. So sidestepping all of that, I will survive this fall. I survived the fall, and I suspect I might be able to reawaken a dormant strength. I am a superhero in this world I know nothing about.
You remember reaching an escape tube, and you remember being struck by a tendril of force, and then the fall. The fall. You open your eyes in time to see a riot of color around you, your descent barely slowed, and then agony flares throughout your body as a crunching impact destroys you. The last thing you hear is a rapidly cycling whine of energy, and then...
Ow. That's my reaction. Is ow.
Darkness.
Yeah, ow. That was the right reaction. Ah. Won't let me go towards the light thing, though. Let's just walk around a bit. Jumbo thoughts cloud your head as you study the empty bowl before you. Drops of liquid fall from the ceiling, spattering on the ground next to the bowl. The light from every drop is reflected in the bowl's rounded hollow, as if it hungers for that light, and needs to be filled. Yet the bowl remains dry. Another drop falls from the ceiling and splashes across the pylons, wasted. I mean, if it needs to be filled, and I can help with that, let's go ahead and do that. You've encountered your first task. You have 3 stat pools, might, speed, and intelligence, that you can spend to increase your chances of success. This is called using effort. I literally have to put effort into things. To more easily move the bowl in front of you, use left mouse click to spend might for a higher level of effort. Don't worry if you fail this task. In Torment, failure often results in interesting outcomes. Fair enough. That kind of makes me laugh, though. I literally am putting effort into things. I only want to put 1 effort in. Ow! Ow! The edges of the bowl tear at your flesh as you seize it. You grit through the pain. Though, hauling the bowl over the glowing pool of fallen light. I took 1 damage to my health pool. That was not an interesting outcome. That was a painful outcome. Assuming this was all I could do anyway. Blood trails from your fingers into the hungry depths of the bowl. Drop by drop it fills, your blood mixing with the light until the air itself takes on a strange reddish hue. Ripples spread over the blurred outline of your reflection. A sanguine radiance spills across the segmented floor, washing away the nearest shadows and pouring into your mind, melting the ragged edges of your fragmented thoughts. You are not whole, not yet, but you have begun to heal from the damage done in your long fall. A voice calls out from somewhere high above, beyond the reaches of the spreading light. Hello, are you still alive down there? We're up here. Build a path up to us. And it went away quicker than I could read it, because I wasn't paying attention. So there's that. I can zoom. That's nice and wonderful. I can run everywhere. That's my backpack, character abilities. I know you guys can't see my mouse at the moment. That's because I'm just recording the game, not my desktop. I think next part, I will probably try recording my desktop so you can see my mouse clicks, or where I'm clicking and going. Interact with this thingy. As soon as you touch the orb, a memory floods your mind and flashes the screen. You stand in front of a rusted door. The air is humid and dank. You've had a moment's respite from this water-logged hell. A bubble of stale air your resting point. You've breathed water before, and you've lived decades beneath the waves. But this body's an air breather, and the constant pressure has been crushing you ever so subtly. Worse, your companion's mind seemed to be wandering from the task at hand. He's a genius with machines, as you well know, but now he seems distracted. So, I've lived a long time, is what I'm getting from this. I know, I did read a little bit of the premise of this game, and that you're a fallen god or something, but I kind of stopped there and just kind of bought it and decided to give it a go. So, my current body is a genius with machines, and he is distracted. Wonderful. The device in his hands is covered in knobs, wires, and antennas. He believes it can get the two of you through the carotid door, but he's merely staring at it. Perhaps he's lost faith in his invention, but that is hardly your concern. This mission cannot be delayed. It must proceed. Threaten him. It's taking too long. Fix the device myself. Or deceive him. You know, it's interesting, but I feel like I want to deceive my host. I think. Because I don't really want to threaten him. And doing it myself means putting effort into things. And that's something I just don't want to do right now. Because last time it hurt. Your words echo clearly, and he looks up, surprised. As you cut through his indecisive daze, he grimaces and says, "All right, we'll be through the door before they catch up." His fingers make minute adjustments to the knobs and blinking levers of the device, and the stale air of your bubble freshens as the door swings open. A dark hallway lies beyond, a passage that links the water-boarded cells and the aquatic viewing areas. What you seek lies there. Moments later, you're underwater again. And there's sirens. Your hands closing around a strange yet familiar artifact. You need it to complete something. It hovers above a pedestal, rotating in the dark water. Words are not coming to me very well today. An electric current runs through your fingers as your hand crosses the vertical plane of the pedestal, and an iridescent field coalesces so fast that the wave of pressure dazes you for a moment. The rising pulse of a sonar alarm ripples through the water, which started rippling before I got to that point. The guards won't be far behind. Run, we can come back to it. They won't be able to protect it forever. That's possibly true unless this is like an ancient fortress, in which case they probably could protect it for just about forever. Maybe a guard shift change or something like that. Disable the sonar pulse. Just make the alarm stop. The current stop. Use the device to stop them. One of the ciphers in your belt. That makes me feel like Batman. I'm going to do that. You run urgent fingers over the device fastened to your waist. A fog rising in your mind. A few can be used against the guards, but will also turn your skin to synth steel. Doesn't sound good. Or the surrounding water to boiling wax, which also doesn't sound good. Hardly ideal is correct, sir. Finally, you find a small silver sphere. Setting the sphere in place, you kick desperately for the safety of a nearby alcove. The sphere whirls and unfolds into a spiraling vortex. The sphere at its center speaks a few polite words in an ancient language, then begins draining the surrounding water into itself with alarming speed. The approaching guards shout, then scream as they too are sucked into the whirlpool and ripped to pieces. You allow yourself a fleeting smile, but are all too aware that more alarms are going off in the distance. So, I'm not Batman. Nope, not Batman. Straight up murdered those people. But that's okay. I could be an anti-hero. I could do that. The memory begins to fade. Oh. Totally not what's currently happening. That was a memory. I read this out loud and yet failed to realize I was going through a memory. The memory begins to fade as if you were being drawn backward through a tunnel, and you hear more pylons rising from the pit. Something is wrong. The events within the orb have settled into that gap in your mind, but the edges of it are rough, as though the memory itself is not truly yours. There's something else, a gust of sour air pulling at you, like a predator inhaling the scent of its prey at the far end of a dark, whispering field. Things are changing everywhere. Right, I can no longer get back. That's cool. But I can go all the way up. This mirror looks strange, as though what you see in it is real and you're the reflection. Ooh, one of those things. The light around the door frame dims and flares like a roaring fire in a high wind. Well, I don't need any of that. I need to go to this thing, the light things that open and change things. You stand beside a woman on a verdant crag. Beneath the two of you is a broad plateau towering above the overgrowth far below. Strange machines have been built into the cliffside, presumably for reconnaissance or defense. A metallic disc gleams from the center of the plateau. Your self-aware humanoid machines drill into the base of the cliffs below. If you are looking for a sanctuary, and you were, desperately, this seems like the right place. I don't know about this, the woman says, her voice flat, neutral. Her face is turned away from you. What makes this place any more secure than the other ones we found? Well... Draw her attention to the hidden details that your more experienced eye can clearly see. That sounds so pompous. Like, come on. Couldn't you see? I saw all of this stuff, and you saw nothing. Use your charm to persuade her of the merits of the site, and to remind her of the time constraints, and convince her with the wisdom of your superior intellect. All of those kind of sound like you're kind of condescending to her. But I figure I'd like to be attentive and very, you know, wow. Very, I would like to pay attention more than I do in real life, so I'm going to draw attention to the hidden details that my more experienced eye can clearly see. You shade your eyes against the bright sun so that you can point out the thin bands radiating out from the metallic disc. How the energy from those bands affects the local fauna, suggesting an enormous source of prior world energy. She thinks deeply. It's geologically sound. That was supposed to be a question. I didn't say it in a very questioning manner. It's geologically sound? Have you run the surrounding samples and checked the strata? No major caverns or weaknesses showed up on your resonance scans? And I like how questions just always have a huh at the end. That's interesting. She waits for your affirmation and says, "All right, I'm convinced." The two of you sketch your plans for the sanctuary, drawing schematics and architectural diagrams. Then you descend onto the plateau to examine the open ground. The woman suggests having one of the servitors build a shelter for your time here. You try to draw one of the constructs away from its task, but it doesn't respond to your voice. When you lay a hand on its shoulder to reinforce your command, it whirls and strikes you across the face with inhuman speed. It turns back to its task, ignoring you. Yeah. Your companion helps you rise, laughter in her eyes. That sounds like my friends. It seems your construct has other ideas. What's the matter with it? Use the Numenera and integrate it into the construct's body to overwhelm the behavior malfunction. Examine the construct for mechanical faults, or look for a deeper solution. Perhaps it's an effect of the metallic disc itself. Huh. Obviously, my detail-oriented vision and senses here are telling me that it's a mechanical fault. So it just has to be my superior intellect. It's just, man. Everything resolves into sharp focus, and you see that the servitor's rear actuators, I'm saying that's so wrong, are corrupted. You dig into the construct's back. It seems not to mind as long as you don't interfere with its task. Deftly, you reset the actuators, whatever the hell, and see energy sparks into disused portions of the construct's brain. The construct resumes its work, and this time it listens when you speak to it. Acknowledged. It obediently trundles to the site of your new shelter. The image freezes, then fades, and you feel the memory filling the gap in your mind, block by jagged block. You stagger, clutching your head. Reclaiming your memories hurts. Reclaiming my memories. Is it my memories, or is it like my body's memories? Because it seems like it's my body's memories, not mine. Or if they are mine, maybe my body can't handle my memories, which that's not cool. I should have picked a different body. Maybe I should have been female. They're more capable of these sorts of things. That may come off as sexist, but it's sexist in the good way, I think. I don't know. And once more, there's something else. Hairs lift, one by one, in the back of your neck. Something beyond this room can sense what you're doing, and it's hunting you. I wanted to say it was haunting me. It's like, no, that doesn't make sense. Hunting me. I'm being hunted. Wonderful. I'm being hunted. Instead of going through the doors, I'm going to continue along the path that this is making me. Wonderful. A vision of a city springs up around you. Your city, in flames and under attack. Her defenders have fought and died all day, and still the attackers keep coming. They fight as if your destruction were demanded of them. They cared nothing for mercy, surrender, or plunder. What they want is blood. It's like they were programmed. I know they aren't like the things, but it's just like the thing, just, let me do my task, and their task is kill me. But you have brought a keen-eyed companion to the top of the tower. She has seen the way to stop the invaders. You need to get her to safety, and you need to rally your defenders. But even as you turn toward the door of the tower, two of the attackers descend from a hovering machine. You don't have time to strike at them before they land. One is brutishly large, his weapon's a vibrating axe. The other is slim, sheathed in glassy armor and holding a hilt with a sizzling invisible blade. Your companion backs away. She is too young to help. Your enemies advance single file, confined by the parapet. So, her being too young to help doesn't make sense to me. Because, in a world with movies like Kick-Ass, where Hit Girl is there, and Logan, with X-23, it doesn't matter their age. They can help. Hit them with something. Distract them for a second. I mean, that's not the point. I do want to save your life, but, your companion backs away. She's too young to help. The enemies advance single file. They advance single file. Confined by the parapet. Of course, okay. There is a confine. They didn't just advance single file for no reason. Trade blows with the giant, duck under the giant swing and attack before he can strike, and fight defensively and figure out who presents the greater threat. Now, I wish one option was just push the giant back. Just knock him off balance, but let's see. I don't like a vibrating axe, but at the same time, I think defensively I'm a defensive-minded person normally, so yeah, or duck under the giant swing attack. Let's go quickness. You roll under the blurring arc of his axe. He's overconfident, testing you without committing to the attack. Yes, he's fast, but not as fast as you are. Damn right. And when he raises the great axe above his head to finish you, you're able to bury your blade under his breastplate. The blade emerges from the back of his neck, and his life's blood washes over your hands. He falls, taking your weapon with him, and his companion attacks. Oh no. Her invisible blade is far more lethal than the giant's axe. That is very true. The blade I can't see. You duck as she thrusts at you, and the wall behind you hisses, destroyed. Her returning swing cuts through your armor, ruining your breastplate. She doesn't have to be skilled with a weapon like this. She just has to make contact. Wonderful. You time your attack just as she pulls it back for another strike. You barrel into her, driving her over the wall, and she drops screaming to the ground 50 meters below. Good job, me. The immediate threat ended. You focus on finding a way back to your allies. You open the tower door and rush down the stairs. The door at the base of the stairs is slightly cracked, opening just a bit into the hall, and you hear more of the enemy soldiers beyond. Crack the door open, sneak past them, charge through them, counting on my defense to protect me. This is kind of asking, am I a very offensive attack person? Do I like to sneak past people? Or do I, sit back and defend? And in all honesty, how I play games, I always liked the idea of being the sneaky person. And I'm going to continue to say I'm the sneaky person. But when it comes down to it, I almost guarantee I will just relapse into either being ultra defensive or just bashing something until it stops moving. So I'm gonna pretend and hope and maybe be able to stick with it throughout this game of being the quick, stealthy person. So I'm going to crack the door open to sneak past them. You press yourself against the gleaming door, easing it open, and your breath catches in your throat as it squeaks quietly. That is like the most heart-pounding noise in horror games or any game, is when the door just squeaks open. It's terrifying. The sound is like a bell in your memory. You pause, but the soldiers in the hall continue to talk. You push again, squeeze yourself through the narrow opening, and creep down the blood-stained hall. The memory begins to fade, and you find yourself back in your own body. Is it my body, though? Your temples throb with the racing force of your heartbeat, and the reclaimed memories blaze within you like a bonfire on a mountain peak, visible to every predator for kilometers around. A tremor rocks the floor beneath you, as though a massive fist has struck the room itself. Swaying on your feet, you see frantic movement within the borders of a mirror at the edge of the room. The twisted mirror reality thingy. And I'm gonna go right into it. Charge! Oh, I stopped. The border of this mirror is lavishly decorated with a dizzying number of interlocked symbols, daggers, masks, paintbrushes, amulets, and more. That's nothing compared to what you see in the glass. You see a vast crowd of people. Exact doppelgangers of you, shoving, arguing with, and fighting each other. Most are drab imitations of you, but a precious few are vivid and pull at your attention. Each one of them bears an intricate pentagonal tattoo on their head. In their eyes, their actions, you see the memories you discovered within the orbs and the choices you made, shining like distant stars. Your hand twitches at your side, and though some of the bright doppelgangers ignore you, an even smaller number immediately turn to you, waiting for you to choose them and learn what you might become. A rumble shakes the room, and a slow vibration spreads from the darkness below, rippling towards the ceiling. Ooh. Alright, so there's a doppelganger moving cautiously through the crowd, so it's kind of defensive, ready for anything kind of thing. There's the doppelganger with the clever eyes. I don't know if that means, very perceptive, which was the word I was looking for earlier that I could not, for the life of me, remember. Perceptive. Point at the doppelganger, tinkering with a mechanical device. Probably not me. It's just not me. Point at the doppelganger, moving stealthily through the crowd. So, clever eyes or stealthy? Clever eyes or stealthy? I feel like I just want to be very perceptive. I just want to know and see everything. Every small detail. And then have to read it aloud. Because my voice box is going to hate me. Essentially. So, I'm going to point at the doppelganger with the clever eyes. Because I want those eyes. The doppelganger makes its way over to you. It's about to speak when a thuggish figure charges out of the crowd and shakes his knife in the doppelganger's face. Speaking in your voice, the doppelganger raises a calming hand, appealing to the thug's better nature with a combination of disarming wit and outright lies. I like the second part. Scowling, the thug lowers his knife and apologizes to the doppelganger for the trouble. The doppelganger turns to you, waiting for your decision. Oh. Okay, this is interesting. Let's see what the others are, then. I'm thinking it'll give me a small little scenario. So this guy can talk his way out of things. Which, I think I want to try that. if I can. But let me see what the other ones are first. Let's go through the cautiously through the crowd. Falling into a wary, well-balanced crouch, the doppelganger creeps towards you, scanning its surroundings with suspicious eyes. Each movement it makes is slow, subtle, and deliberate. Unfolding from the crouch, the doppelganger waits for your decision. That's cool. It's cool. It's a mechanical device guy. Coming forward, the doppelganger shows you the 19-sided object it was working on. The device has no less than 100 buttons and levers. With a few muttered words and a series of precise movements, it successfully activates the device. A sphere of bulging air shoots high into the reflected air and explodes into clouds of serrated flower petals. The crowd of doppelgangers hoots and cheers. Nah, that's not me. That's way too many levers. Way too much work. Way too much effort. You blink, the doppelganger is gone. Or so you think at first, for you can hear, just for a second, a low chuckle somewhere behind you. When you finally blink, it stands before you once more, behind the glass where it belongs, and waiting for your decision. Alright, so I am actually between the clever eyes and the stealthy person again. And as hilarious as that reaction is, in practice I've known stealth to not work very well in games for me. So I think my best choice is going to be being the clever eyes. And plus, I can have some more fun talking my way out of things, possibly. Or picking the wrong choice and ending up in fights that I'm not equipped and ready for. But we will see. We will see. I am going to do this one. I will talk my way out of anything. Or into anything. Whatever this game lets me talk my way in and out of, I will. The remaining doppelgangers scatter for the edge of the mirror and vanish. Your chosen identity steps forward. Its appearance changes as it steps out of the rippling glass. Its face reflects confidence and cleverness. Shadows of weapons flicker in and out of its hands, and a few devices shimmer on its belt. You get the feeling you, would be comfortable in a variety of situations. The word Jack sounds in your mind. Oh, like Jack of all trades. So I picked the one that's kind of the middle ground. That figures. I've done that in everything I play. Wonderful. Still, cool though. Your doppelganger continues walking, stepping into you, filling you, making you whole. Your decision rings out into the cavernous room, awakening and unlocking vast mechanisms behind the walls. Suddenly, a grotesque noise rings through your shared worlds, like a bell if bells could rot. Something is coming. Restored 1 health pool and restored 1 might pool. You feel like it's going to teach me how to battle? I feel like it's going to teach me how to battle. The mirror fades, leaving a darkness, open doorway. You take a deep breath and step through. Alright, time to create my character. Your choices and the memories in the mirror have begun to build your character, but now you have the opportunity to decide on a number of details. First, you can decide to change your type. Type defines the abilities and skills you'll be able to acquire as you advance. Alright. You know, I'm just going to keep with what my choice gave me. I'm Jack. I'm not Jack, but you know what I mean. Stat pools are the resource you use to apply effort or activate abilities. You can distribute points as you see fit. Glaives tend to favor might and or speed, while nanos favor intellect. Jacks usually benefit from a balanced set of points. Well, do I... Oh, I have a whole bunch of points. So I already have the extra intellect, but I'm preferenced to speed personally. So let's see. Speed represents the character's dexterity and reaction time. Every 2 points in speed also increases evasion by 5. You know, I'm gonna go all speed here. So I'm gonna be a little misbalanced, but I think that's okay for now. And it's kind of, you know, I have lower health, but that's okay. I'll accept that. Abilities unlocked by your type can be active actions such as attacks or spell like Esoteries or unique passive effects. Solderies, something like that. Alright, 2 points remaining. Okay, so I can get 2. Let's see. I could go light armor route. Automatically succeed on the next quick fingers or smashing task. Okay. Choose a damage type, then make a weapon attack. Deal weapon damage of the chosen type along with bonus effects based on the type. Attack that deals weapon damage +3 if the target has a negative fatal confer dazed for 1 round. Okay. Minus 15% willpower, minus 50% on attacks. Novice defended by evasion, consumes action. You know, I think I want to be trained without armor, because I'm going to try to go that route the best of my ability. And I'll see how much I may mess myself up at the beginning here, but... And then... Do I want something to infuse my weapon, or do I want something for, like... Quick fingers or smashing task? Would that be, like... Picklocking something, or... You know, pickpocketing somebody, or just, like, smashing something? Okay, I think I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go full skill abilities here, and then have light armor, be a light armor person. Most skills increase your chance of success in specific kinds of actions and tasks, but some give other passive bonuses. Each skill starts at the novice level and can be increased to trained and specialized, granting greater bonuses at each level. Descriptors often leave some skills at the endurance and ability level, meaning they inflict penalties. When upgrade, these return to the novice level. So I'm not great on the heavy weapons, not great on the lore of machinery, and not great on the lore of mystical. My deception is trained, though. And choose an exploration skill. I don't want to. Can I change that? Okay, let me change. So, yeah, quick fingers, fine motor control, and the ability to manipulate delicate devices. Okay. Let's see. Anamnesis? The last cast-off can access the memories of previous consciousnesses. Conscience. That word that I just don't want to read. This skill represents your focus and acumen when attempting to recall those experiences. Okay. Concentration mitigates penalty for equipped bonded artifacts. Deception, which I already have, which I'm gonna lie a lot for fun. Funsies. Healing, +5 bonus points per level healed when any healing ability or item is used. I don't really have any of those. Like it being intimidating or perception. I have the one ability to just give me one of these, but it may be nice to have one too, but speed may dictate that a little bit, so... Visual auras, even olfactory acuity, allows the character to notice things others would miss. And you know, that sounds like what I wanted, so... I will go with perception. And see how that comes to task in this game. Fine then. I'm not a glaive, therefore I do not receive weapon training. That's okay. I don't need weapon training. I'm going to talk my way out of anything. Although you chose your descriptor from among the many doppelgangers in the mirror, you now have the chance to view the specific bonus and penalties it grants. You can also examine the effects of other descriptors and choose a new one if you wish. So what I get? I became clever. +2 to the intellect pool, +1 training level and deception skill, +50% willpower. -1 training in mystical skill and machinery skill. But that's okay. Because I am deceptive. Wow. You know, I think I may just keep it. I get how all these might be nice, but I made all those choices and I'm just going to stick to it. Am I sure? No, but hey, let's go. Good first part of me walking upstairs and getting absolutely nowhere and just picking a character, so, yep.